Hey everybody, this is Matt Selhorst. Welcome to the webinar, how to add an extra $50,000 to your dealership's bottom line this off-season. I'm going to teach you today how to do exactly that. Install a system this off-season that's going to help you add an extra $50,000 or more to your bottom line. Actual profit in your pocket, extra commissions in your salespeople's profit, extra money for the entire dealership. So I've got a ton of info for you today. So I want you to hold on tight, get out a notepad, get out a pen, and get ready. So I've got a couple suggestions for you as we get started here today. The first thing is I'm going to ask you to close down your email, close down your Facebook, close down Twitter, close down any distractions that you may have. Those distractions are going to keep you from the valuable money-making information, and I really want you to get this information because I think it's going to have a tremendous impact on your boat business. And it's a giant favor to yourself. You know, let's be honest that the information that I'm providing to you, me providing it is valuable. I'd appreciate the respect of listening, but more importantly, you're doing a favor to yourself. You've committed to increasing the profitability of your boat business. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on this webinar. You wouldn't have sought out this information, whether you got here from a book, from an article in one of the industry trade journals, whether you saw me speaking at the Marine Dealer Conference and Expo or the Marine Retail University or one of the many other speaking training sessions that I've done at a manufacturer relationship. I don't know how you got here, but you've sought this information out because you know that your boat business can do better. So out of respect to yourself, do yourself a giant favor and get rid of those distractions for the next 50 or 60 minutes. Will be about an hour in our time together. And I can promise you, if you do that, you're going to get a ton of valuable information. So go ahead and grab a drink and be with me. Don't be distracted. Pay attention. Get your notepad out and get ready to take some seriously powerful and profitable notes. I don't want you to miss anything in our time together here. And I'll tell you a quick story that I heard. And I'm guilty of multitasking. You know, you try to do too much. You try to pay attention to a video or have a phone call where you're checking your email or you're trying to learn something new. And it's really impossible to multitask. There's a research study that I saw that said multitasking, trying to do more than one thing at a time, actually drops your IQ by about 10 points. And that's the equivalent of being high, being stoned. So I don't want you to be in that state. I want you to be alert. I want you to be ready to suck in all this knowledge like a sponge, so that that you can put it in place in your boat business. All right. So as we get started, who is this boat business for? Who is this boat business for? Who is this webinar training for? Well, it's really for any dealership owner who's not 100% satisfied with their sales and marketing success and has a serious drive to increase the quality of prospects who are more pre-qualified, pre-positioned, and less price sensitive, so they can make an extra $50,000 or more next season. Like I said, I'm going to show you how to do this in the off season. Now, this information is not for you. Let me go back. The information I'm going to reveal to you, it's been developed over 7 years of trial and error. The exact same steps that I've used, that I've proven to work as a top producing boat salesperson, and my coaching clients are using it today. So everything I'm going to share with you, it's not theory, it's not hype, it's not what I think works, what I hope works. This is what actually put me in the position of a top producing boat salesperson, and it's something that my coaching clients are using right now. As you listen to this, this is being used to drive more pre-qualified, pre-positioned, and less price-sensitive boat buyers to boat dealerships. Now, I've got to tell you, I can't go over every single detail and nuance in only the 60 minutes that we have together. It's just, a lot of people get on these calls and they want everything for free. Well, frankly, it's not feasible to do that for me. It's not possible to download all of that information in just 60 minutes. There's a lot of detail. There's a lot of nuances, and this situation it adjusts, and in this situation, here's how you need to do it. And I don't know enough about your specific situation, but what I am going to do is I'm going to try to pack as much information as possible in our time together. I really want this to be valuable time, because I know time is something that it's your most valuable asset. It's the thing that you cannot get back. And I want to make sure I try to pack as much valuable information for you in our time together here. So another thing I want to let you know is I will be making myself available to those of you that want to spend some time and to get into all those nitty-gritty details. Okay. So if that's you, if you say, hey, Matt, this stuff makes a ton of sense to me. Our boat business, it has a serious need. I'm not just out here kind of checking out what's new. I'm really serious about driving extra profit, $50,000 or more profit into my boat business next season. And I want to do it in the off season. I want to get all this stuff in place in the off season so that, when boat show rolls around, when February, March rolls around, I'm ready to knock it out and have my best season ever. And that's exactly what this is all about. Okay. So I don't want to catch you off guard. I am going to be making an offer at the end of the webinar. I'm going to give you as much information as I can leading up to that. But just so you know, hey, I'm going to be making an offer, and it will be something that I think if you're here and you stay to the end, I think you're going to find it very, very valuable. Okay. So tell you a little bit about me. You may know me, you may not. I'm a fairly well-respected guy that you've probably never heard of. If you're religious about reading boating industry, you may have seen my articles. If you read Sounding Older, they featured Sounding Trade Only. They featured me there in the past. If you go to some of the conferences, the events, you may have heard me speak. But I fly kind of under the radar. You're not going to see big ads. I don't do banner stuff on all over the place. I'm fairly under the radar. I like to teach my clients, and I don't, I'm not taking out big full page ads in boating industry or trade only. That's just not how I run my business. What I do, though, is I help honest and ethical boat dealers sell more boats at higher margin. I mean, that ultimately everything that I offer in my products and my services, it's what it's all about. It's about helping honest and ethical boat dealers. I don't help everybody. I'm not for everybody. I for almost all of my products, I have some kind of an application process because I only want to work with those people that are really doing business the right way and really trying to help the boating industry as a whole and grow the hobby of boating. And the ones that aren't honest, the ones that aren't ethical, I believe do more harm than good. And ultimately, I want you to sell more. I want you to sell at higher prices, higher margins. I want you to be a more profitable boat business, because what I know is that if you're more profitable, if you're doing more business, you can take care of your customers better. You can make the boating lifestyle more enjoyable for more people. And that's what I'm all about. I mentioned it earlier. I'm a former top producing salesperson at a 6-location dealership. I've got the trophies and everything. It's legit. And I started in this business just back in 2009. And I got into the business, and I overtook other salespeople that had larger books of business, had more experience, more product knowledge, more sales skills, quite frankly. I'm not a natural born salesperson. I really had to work and develop these systems and these tools to propel me to be that top producing salesperson. And that was out of, anywhere from 15 to up to 20 salespeople at any one time. And I led in a lot of categories. It wasn't just units. One of the biggest ones that I was most proud of was I was consistently at the top as margin produced. That's the number that counts. If you sell a lot of boats, but you're always discounting, basically you're creating a lot more work, but not adding money into anybody's pocket. And again, not delivering an exceptional experience to the clients because you don't have the money to invest in the people and all that. I'm also an author. I'm a speaker. I've been featured in Soundings Trade Only, Boating Industry, the Marine Dealer Conference and Expo. I spoke on a circuit of talks with folks like David Parker, I've been on the stage with Valerie Zybron, with Sam Dantzler, a lot of folks, Don Cooper, the sales heretic. Him and I had a great conversation at the Marine Dealer Conference and Expo last year. John Spencer, a lot of different people, Liz Walls, and Jonathan Sweet at Boating Industry. So I've shared the stage with a lot of great people. I've written a book, Marine Marketing Strategies, and you probably may have seen some of my articles in Boating Industry. Again, I provide the information, but I'm not plastered all over the place with ads and things like that. And I'm a relaxed guy. I'm a relaxed guy. You're not going to see me a big rah-rah kind of person, but I'm a relaxed guy who loves to help folks in the boat business grow their dealership's profit with a proven sales and marketing system. I think a couple keys there is grow their dealership profits. That, to me, that's the key. I did a video one time talking about gross is for vanity, net is for sanity. Net is what makes a profitable business, makes a happy business owner, which if you're listening to this, hopefully you're a business owner. That's really who this is for. And a proven sales and marketing system. That system piece is important because it has to be proven, but it has to be systematized so that you can do it over and over and over and get very reliable results. So this is a little different for me. Most of my products and programs last year were focused around this 3-day boot camp. The 3-day boot camp that I did was a very high-end, very in-depth program where people actually had to fly in here to the Carolinas where I am. And, everybody that wanted to get in, they had a 3 or 4 month period to do it. And because it was 3 days actually in the room, I call it the war room, in the boot camp war room with my clients, and I only had 3 or 4 months, I only had a limited number of people I could help. And I decided I wanted to do it in a new format. So that's what I'm doing with you here today. I'm going to deliver this exciting new format that I think you're really going to love, and it's going to make it more accessible to more people. So here we go. Here we go with the 7-step, no hype, no BS, proven and surefire way to add an extra $50,000 or more to your dealership's bottom line this off season. I know it's a long title. I know that, but we're going to dive in the 7 steps. No hype, no BS, proven. This stuff's proven. This isn't something that I just created yesterday. I actually used this in trial and error to propel myself to a top producer, something that other dealers are using right now as we speak. So I know it works. It's worked in, from the East Coast to the West Coast. I've got clients up on the West Coast. I've got clients on the East Coast and in between, and it's working everywhere. Big markets, small markets. And yes, that's me. That's my smiling face right there. So you kind of know who's talking to you. And I said I'm kind of a relaxed guy, but I am passionate about this, and you're gonna hear me get excited. But I'm gonna not be hypey. Everything that I'm gonna talk to you about is proven. I'm not gonna be BS because again, everything that I'm talking about I've used, my clients are using, and I think as we go through, I think you're gonna say, well, that just makes a lot of sense. It's just some common sense stuff that maybe you haven't considered, maybe you used to do and you stopped doing it. Maybe you're like, light bulb goes on and holy crap, why didn't I think of that? And that's what we're going to talk about here today. But again, it's all about putting extra bottom line profit into your boat business. So I like to start with this, the profit triangle. In the profit triangle, you start with the foundation. So what's all about the foundation when you talk about your boat business? Well, you have to have the right strategies. You have to have $100 messaging, and I'll talk about that in more detail. You've got to go after the right market, and you have to have the right systems in place. So that's all foundational stuff. And in my boot camps, that's what I dealt with on the very first day. The first, 5 or 6 hours of the day, we're all focused on that bottom foundational stuff. And, at times some of my clients were like, when are we going to get to the ads? When are we going to get to the sales stuff? When are we going to get to all this other stuff you promised? Well, here's the key about all that is if you don't have the foundation set for your individual business, well, you're dead in the water. If you don't set that foundation right and you don't take a look at the key points for your business, well, no system is going to be as effective as it could be. And then you have to look at the purple, the key areas of focus. You have to look at lead generation. How are we going to get people into the door, into our sales funnel, into our marketing system? Then you've got to look at the repeat and referral business. Hey, we're selling a lot of transactions. We're delivering a lot of boats. Are we selling them their second, third, fourth, and fifth boat? Are we getting their friends, family, and relative and coworkers referred to us? And if not, why is that not happening, and how can we improve that? The next, you're looking at cross-selling. So as a boat business, one of the key profit indicators is, can you get the boat sale? Can you get their service? Can you get their parts and accessory business? Can you get their storage business? Can you get their F&I business? Can you get their extended warranty business? All of that stuff, are you focusing on the cross sales in a systematic way? So there's all of these different aspects. Lead conversion. Are you getting the leads in, but are you converting them? And then you go up another level and you look at the multiple media. So it's not just about websites. It's not just about social media, as almost everybody, and it drives me friggin' insane. It's not only about Facebook, people. Facebook can be used very, very well, and it can be a smart piece of your marketing plan. But if Facebook is your go-to and your only move, you're in a world of trouble. I'm telling you. Emails, the phone, the probably the most underutilized media by a lot of dealerships and salespeople out there. Now, the phone, it's manual labor. It's a lot of hard work, but the phone can be key to your success. Email, direct mail in certain situations, online video, all of those media, you got to have the right combination, again, based on the foundation for your market, for your marketplace. Are you selling high-end yachts? Are you selling working class fishing boats? Are you selling, mid-range family pontoons? What is it that you're offering? Are you offering a bunch of those different things? You have 7 different product lines. Well, then you've got to make sure you use the right media for each product line. And then you got to install it quickly. So I talk about installation in the form of a 24/7 selling machine, social proof, a sales process. That's an interesting concept. Do you actually have a sales process that is kind of a overlaying system when you do get a customer walking in the front door? Websites and search engine optimization. Hey, whether we like it or not, and in the boat business, I think a lot of us are guilty of being behind the times when it comes to technology. Heck, it's changing so darn fast that what you learned 6 months ago, some of it's irrelevant, some of it's flat out wrong, some of it will still work, but you've got to stay on top of that. And frankly, I'm not the right person to do it for you. You're probably not the right person to do it for your business. Maybe you have a tech whiz in your company, but that's something that should probably be outsourced to somebody else. But you need to know enough about it so that you don't get led astray by some tech guy that says, oh, I know how to build a fancy website that's got music playing and video and all these fancy graphics, but you forget about the key foundational pieces of having a good message, having the right strategies, going after the right marketplace, using the systems, because some tech wizard says, oh, this will look pretty, this will look great, this is the fanciest new technology, and you forget about those foundational pieces. And that's why this pyramid is built the way it is. And again, this is not something I just came up with yesterday. This is trial and error to say, okay, here's how I did it for myself. Great, all this stuff worked. Now I started rolling it out over the past year with other dealers across the country. I've even got some folks that are using my stuff in Australia, Canada, down in the Caymans. And all of these things have in common is when you focus on that foundation first, everything else is so much easier. And you can kind of direct those people that are doing your website what to do, so that they don't just take it off and do something that's going to really have a negative impact. So let's get into the 7 steps to adding 50,000 plus. Now, I say 50,000 because that's a small dealership. The plus is if you've got multiple salespeople, if you've got multiple locations, if you're carrying 300 boats in inventory. But step 1, that foundational stuff, develop your strategy and develop your goals. Step 2, create $100 messaging online and offline. So what are you saying on your your online dealership is how we referred to it at the Marine Dealer Conference and Expo when I was on stage there. Your website, your social media presence, all of the other areas on the internet that people may find you. Capture persuasive social proof, letting other people help you sell, letting other people build value in your products and your services in your dealership. Step 4, building relationships with not only your clients, people that have given you money, but your prospects, the people that will be giving you money in the future. Step 4, create a lead generation strategy, or that really should be strategies, because what I want multiple doors for prospects to walk into your boat business. So one of the doors could be your website. One of the doors could be your social media presence. One of the doors should be your online video. One of the doors should be your ads, whether that's traditional print, TV, radio. I'm not a huge fan of in a lot of markets, but some places they do work if you can buy it at the right price. All of these different the boat show, but not just the show, but how are you bringing them in? And I'll talk about that in more detail as we go and dive into each of these steps more. Own your local search engine for free. Step 6. It is so vitally important with so many of our prospects going online when they're searching for their boating needs that you understand how the search engines work. Not that you have to do it. Matter of fact, I encourage you not to be the one to do it, but you have to have the foundational set of here's what our perfect prospect looks for online. Here are the keywords that we need to know. Now, Mr. Tech Wizard, here's what I want you to do. I want you to build these pages based on these keywords. Here's the content. Go do it. Show it to me, and I'll tell you if it's right or not. And if you have that foundational knowledge of what's needed, then almost any tech person can do that for you. And then number 7 is install a 24/7 selling machine. That sort of overriding system that takes everything that you did in steps 1 through 6 and put it together in a systematic way so that you're communicating with prospects. You're communicating with your clients. You're using that $100 messaging. You're using social proof. You're building relationships along the way. You've got the lead generation strategy filling in that 24/7 selling machine. And you own the local search engine. So anybody that's out there searching for boats is going to find you and ultimately feed into that 24/7 selling machine. And then kind of an overriding thing that I believe in is continuous improvement in dealership strategy, systems, and sales skills. Because once you have this built, now it's kind of that maintenance. Think of building a boat. There's a lot that goes into it. It's going to take 2 to 3 weeks, maybe depending on the size of the boat, the production capacity, and the efficiency of the manufacturer. But once that boat's built, what do you got to do? You got to keep gas in it. You got to do your annual service. You got to get out the buffer and wax and compound it. You got to clean. But that's kind of just an ongoing process that's a lot easier. Maybe do those stuff once a year, a couple times a month with the gas and stuff like that. And the basic cleanup, that part's the easy part. The building part is the hard part. And that's why that continuous improvement is so important. So let's take a step back here and take a look at, if you're here on this website, and I don't mean to be rude when I say this, I don't mean to be presumptuous, but how much are you losing every year in profit? Because I'm gonna make an assumption, if you're here on this website, you believe in your heart of hearts that there's more opportunity that you're missing. There's something you don't know. There's something you're not doing. There's something your staff is not doing. There's something you could do better. There's something that you're missing, and that's why you're on this webinar. Otherwise, if you didn't believe you were missing out on something, you wouldn't be here. So I'm going to make that assumption. So how much are you losing every year? How much did you lose in the last 12 months in lost sales? Lost to your competition, lost to the private seller that sold his boat out of the driveway, lost to other fun money activities. They bought an RV. They went on a Disney vacation. They bought a pool. They bought dining room furniture, or they remodeled their kitchen. They put in an outdoor patio with the fire pit and all that. Lost because you never had a chance. They never found you. They never talked to somebody in your organization, but they were looking. Lost because of poor sales skill, poor follow-up skills. So how many did you lose? How much margin did you lose from unnecessary discounting? Your salesperson, the first thing they went to was a discount when a prospect gave an objection. Or even worse, I see this at boat shows all the time. I do a lot of mystery shopping, so I see this stuff live and in person, and I see it in email. They said, this boat's $25,000, but I could probably get it down to 24. Unnecessary discounting. The customer didn't even say, no, that's too high, but the salesperson automatically went to discounting. Poor negotiation skills, poor price presentation skills. Like I said, I see this at a boat show that, the price is this, but we could probably do better. And they automatically open the door for discounting. Not enough value built during the sales process. This is something I see a lot. They do a poor presentation of the product. They don't diagnose what's important to the customer, what's important to the prospect, so they can't build the value. And so when it gets to the time to close, the customer's making their decision based on price, which they're always going to want a lower price, instead of making their decision more based on value. And there's some things you can do throughout the entire process to build value. So how much are you losing? Let's take a look at missed sales, money lost from missed sales. How many sales do you think you lost last year because of those reasons? And what's your average margin per sale? That equals lost profit. Those lost sales are money that should have been in your pocket. Now, if you have the issue where your manufacturer can't keep up and can't get you the boats, that's another issue. I'm just saying, this is the math that if you had the product, if you've got any leftovers right now, if you had any leftovers in August or September, October, November, December. I talked to a dealer that had a leftover from 2007. Holy crap, 2007, that's lost money. Had several dealers I've talked to that had 2012 models still available. Lost profit. So how many deals did you lose last year because of those things that we talked about? What's your average margin? So let's take a look at an example. Pretty simple, 5 sales. You lost only 5 deals, and your average margin is $5,000. Well, right there is $25,000 in lost profit. from lost sales, 25 grand, poof, gone. Now let's take a look at money lost from discounting. Losing a sale now and again, that's one thing. But lost money from discounting, you did all the work. You did all the work. You rigged the boat, you prepped the boat, you cleaned the boat, you delivered the boat, you did all the paperwork, you registered the boat. You did all of the work and you left money on the table. And this, the lost sales, I understand that's margin and not true bottom line profit, but lost money from discounting, that truly is cash pulled right out of the owner's pocket. So how many sales did you make last year? Take that times the average discount. If you average the discount, the unnecessary discounting up over all of those boats, that's lost profit. Profit that should have been in your pocket, but wasn't. So let's take a look at an example. A smaller dealership, 50 boats. Average 50 boats. As a salesperson, I sold more than 50 boats in a year. The average discounting, $500. So if you discounted on average $500 a boat, that if you would have built more value, if you would have had better negotiation skills, if you would have presented price in the proper way, if you would have used the systems that we talked about, social proof follow-up systems, presentation skills, if you would have had a more pre-qualified, pre-positioned, and less price-sensitive buyer in front of you to start with, could have not discounted that. If you look at that math, that's 25 grand. Now, do your math. Do your math because it's important. I can show you the examples and show you how quickly those numbers add up. And at this point, if you're doing your math, you should start getting kind of mad. Because in just the example that I gave you, a pretty low quantity of lost sales, low quantity of transactions a year. You know, I've got clients that sell 50 boats a year. I've got clients that sell over 300 boats a year. And the more numbers you add up, it really starts adding up quick. But even on the smaller one, $50,000 of lost profit, I mean, that's a huge chunk. That's a huge chunk of their overall profitability. I'd venture to say for a couple of my clients, it's dang near 50%. So what's your number? You need to know that as we go through, and you need to kind of start getting mad because that's the only way you're going to address it. You know, most people have been in the boat business for 10 years, 20, 50 years. I've got a client that's 73 years old, and he's been in the boat business for 40 some odd years. And, you know, he finally told me, he said, you know what, Matt, I've got to do this. I need to pass this business on to my kids, and I don't want to pass them on a business that requires 60, 70 hours a week, and you're not putting the money in your pocket that I know we should. And he was doing well. He was doing real well. But he understood that there was money being left on the table, and that was really making him mad. So know your number. What's your math? Do your math. Right now, you should have a pen and paper in your hand. Should have everything else closed down. So I want you to just take your best guess as to what it is. Maybe you even track lost sales. The lost margin is more of a gut feel. Man, I know that salesperson number one, the only thing he does is he comes to me with the discount and says, hey, I need to drop the price on this. What's the lowest I can get? What's the best you can do on this boat? Well, if you've got somebody that's having that conversation all the time or negotiating with you about dropping price, well, that number is probably going to add up pretty quick. So here's why you should listen to me. Okay, I'm going to play you a video, and hopefully this works
Matt,
well.
It's Will Massey from Custom Marine and Statesboro. It's the first Friday in March, and I just wanted to send you a quick message to tell you about an experience we had at the boat show this last weekend. Our show started on Friday, and I'll try to make this quick and concise, but this is relative to the YouTube videos. You know, we went through your boot camp in December, and I didn't really quite understand all of the reason for the videos and whatnot, but I'm getting it. So here's my story. We opened the boat show on Friday, and not right away, but relatively quickly, I have a young man come in and express an interest in a skiff. He's kind of a standoffish, quiet fella, but through a series of questions and answers and a good discussion, he mentions at some point that he saw us on our YouTube videos. And let me back up, not our YouTube videos, but just YouTube videos. So we go through and, you know, we get a partial payment and get him to commit to buy a boat. The essence is this: that fella came to the Savannah Boat Show to look for me, and I later found out, because of the video that you helped us produce during the boot camp that's on our website. And that fellow saw me, saw us, saw the sales guys on our website, made a connection, and came to the boat show, one, to buy a boat from us, and two, he bought a boat and paid exactly what we were asking. So his mind was made up that morning when he got in his truck to drive to the show, and to me, that's pretty powerful. And I want to send you a quick video and tell you thank you, and friend, you are welcome to share it, because I believe in your program. And you know, we appreciate what you've done for us. So thank you.
That was Will Massey. And I can tell you that you should listen to me. I can tell you about my success, about the $2.5 million that I produced at a small single store that, you know, my average transaction size was probably 35 or 40,000. And but I think it's important to hear from what others have to say about me. And here's why I built the 7 steps. Is you can see my family there. That's a big reason. My oldest is Avery, and she is 4.5, and Emery is a 1.5 years. She'll be 2 here coming up. But I built these 7 steps because I wanted to provide a fantastic lifestyle for my girls, for my wife. I wanted to have more opportunities to sell more boats, better quality prospects. I was sick and tired when I first got started in the business of dealing with prospects that were overly price sensitive, that thought because they could write a check for a boat, they owned I needed to bend to their every whim. And that's just not the case. I wanted it to be more fun to sell. I wanted boat sales to be more fun, to be enjoyable. I wanted less negotiations. I didn't want to have to haggle every single time. And I'm not talking about throwing out your lowest price up front. I'm talking about selling 18 to 20% margin deals. I wanted easier closes where when it came time to ask for the sale, that it was a no-brainer for the prospect, and the price was already, the value was built, and the price was pretty much set. There may be a 1 or 2 pushbacks, but that was it. I wanted to get more referrals out of the people that I delivered an exceptional experience to. I wanted more repeat business. I wanted people that weren't going to have their boat and not buy another one for 20 years. Yeah, that's some people, but if you do it the right way, there's a percentage of people that want to keep up with the Joneses and are always ready for the next thing. And if you get them out of their boat more often, guess what? The more they use their boat, the more they want that next one. To be more fun at work. I wanted work to be enjoyable. I wanted to be excited about going to work. And sometimes what I found when I'm working with clients is that they've gotten so beat down over the last 5 or 7 years that the boat business is just no longer fun for them. And more importantly, and this is a big one, I wanted more money in the bank. Listen, hey, I've got aspirations. You as a business owner, as a dealership owner, you have put your butt on the line. You have got your rent or your mortgage payment if you own your property. You've got your line of credit. You've got your employees' payroll to meet. You've got insurance. You've got to keep the lights on. You've got to pay for all the technology. You've got a lot of commitment, risk on the line for this boat business, you dang right you deserve more money in the bank. You deserve that $50,000 that you're losing, that 100,000, 200,000, whatever that number is for you. You deserve that money because, hey, you put your butt on the line. You've earned it. And it should really, really make you mad that you're not getting it. So let's go into more detail into these 7 steps. We talked about them, but let's go into detail. Step 1, develop a strategy and goals, okay? You need to understand the strengths and the weaknesses of your business. The opportunities, where are you weak? Where can you make improvements? And then not only those opportunities, but which ones are most important? Which ones are the low-hanging fruit? And then you also have to understand your competitive landscape. Hey, what is your competition good at? Do you have a Cabela's or a Bass Pro Shop nearby? Do you have a high-end dealer? Do you have somebody that's on the water and you're off the interstate? Are you on the water and they're off the interstate? You have to understand that competitive landscape. What are they selling and promoting? What are their values? And what are your values? And how can you best combat those and improve the strengths that you have, limit the weaknesses that you have, and take advantage of the easiest to take advantage opportunities? And then where are you going? What is the direction of your business? What type of prospects do you want to work with? Where's your most profitable segment? And focus on those areas. Step 2, create $100 messaging online and offline. In my trainings, I talk about the difference between a $1 bill and a $100 bill. If you think about it, they're both printed with the same ink, on the same paper, by the same organization. Yet to a person, if I offered you one or the other, everybody is going to take the $100 bill. Why? Because of the message on the paper. The message on the paper is worth more. That's the only difference between the two pieces of paper, is the one has a $100 message, the other has a $1 message, and because of that, everybody wants the $100 message piece of paper, right? Make sense? So are you in your online, on your website? Drives me crazy when I look at websites of people that I'm starting to work with, and they say nothing of value. They say the exact same thing their other 5 competitors in the local marketplace say. We have great service. We're a family-owned business. Guess what? Everybody in the boat business, except for MarineMax and a handful of others, are family-owned. Your competition is family-owned for the most part. We give great service. We are boaters too. Well, guess what? Everybody says they give great service. Everybody are boaters too. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in this business. That's a $1 message. I teach my clients to give $100 messages. Say something unique and different based on your values and your strengths. Say something different that's going to jump out at that prospect that's searching online that says, holy crap, that I've got to go talk to these people. And that's $100 messaging. So a place to start is, why do your current customers do business with you? And yes, they're going to say, because you give great service, because I like Jimmy in the service department, because I bought my past 3 boats here. But dig a little bit deeper and find out what it really is about you that your competition doesn't have. And I'll tell you, it's not your manufacturers. Because if that were the case, there would be manufacturers that are dominant area-wide. The whole country, they would own market share. And frankly, there's no manufacturer that owns market share. And I'm sure some manufacturers would be disappointed to hear this, but there's always a cluster where you'll find a market where the predominant market Step 3, capture persuasive social proof. One of the tools that I love the best in building value and that allowed me and has allowed my dealers, my coaching members, to boost up their margins and increase their conversions is social proof. Let your happy clients help you build trust, build value, and increase sales. And social proof, online reviews, Google reviews. I won the best idea down at the Marine Dealer Conference and Expo last year, was in boating industry, and Jonathan Sweet gave me a trophy, and I won a gift card for a simple and easy concept. I think we just lost our screen share, so let me go back here and see. There we go. Okay. I was getting fired up. I think I hit the wrong button there. So, yes, I'm a relaxed and calm guy most of the time, but I do get excited. I've got some passion about this stuff. Testimonials, online reviews. So Google reviews. If you're not using them, you should be. If you're not using them, you really should be. So, and testimonials. Testimonials are basically your happy clients saying what a great job you did, and there's a particular way you can use those where you get them to be very specific, you get them to tell their story, and you get them to say all of the things that you would want to say in a perfect sales presentation. You get different customers to say that on your behalf in a very believable way, and it is amazing how powerful and how persuasive that is, and how much it builds value, and how many more transactions you will get because of that. Step 4, build relationships with your clients for that repeat and referral business, and your prospects for that increased number of sales. One of the best things I can tell you to do, monthly relationship focused newsletter and a boat preview newsletter. They're two different pieces for two different reasons, but overall, they're all about building relationships and being in front of your prospects. You build relationships with consistency and persistency. That builds relationships. That builds confidence. That builds trust. That allows you, when those customers get in front of you, those prospects get in front of you, makes that sale easier. It makes price less of an issue. It makes your sales job more fun and more enjoyable because you've pre-positioned your prospects. Host referral generating events. If you're not hosting events, you're missing the boat. A great opportunity for referrals. Sometimes they can be sales events. And then I mentioned it earlier, call your client base 2 to 4 times a year. You should call everybody in your database, and you should have a campaign for different segments. People that have not done business with you, hey, are you still thinking about buying a boat? Yes or no? Clean up your database. Guess what? I do a thing. I don't have time because, man, I'm trying to pack all this in here. You can see I'm going a little bit fast, but there's an acre of diamonds in your client and your prospect database. Contact them. Relationship newsletters, events, phone calls. Phone calls are so cheap and inexpensive, they're damn near free. If you're paying a salesperson to sell for you, they should be on the phone going through your database. And if you don't have the skills to do that, in my program, I've got some tools for you that can help you accomplish that very easily, but it's imperative to do. Step 5, create lead generation strategies. The educational spectrum of a boat buyer is a concept that I've created that talks about how buyers go from having the concept, I think maybe we should buy a boat, doing their research, their evaluation, and then they become now buyers. That process, it can take days, it can take weeks, it can take months, and oftentimes, because most boats that we sell are such an aspirational purchase, it can take years. I've had multiple clients that I've met at a boat show that submitted an online lead that didn't buy a boat until years later. And it's because of the systems. It's because of the systems that I built I was able to get them in my sales funnel with that lead generation strategy. And you want more open doors for your prospects and your clients to walk through. And what I mean by that is you don't just want to be 100% reliant on the boat show and your dealership front door. You don't want to just be relying on Facebook and your website. You want to have multiple ways for prospects to find you and to engage your business. And when I mean engage, I don't mean social media tweeting and commenting on Facebook. I mean getting into your sales funnel and saying, hey, I'm going to raise my hand because I'm interested in this. And there's an educational marketing strategy that I teach. There's an online video marketing strategy that I teach. There's a lot of different ways. There's a lead generation strategy at Boat Show. There's some lead generation strategies at your dealership. There's lead generation strategies with referral partners. There's a lot of ways that you can open more doors to your business. And the more doors you have open, the fuller that sales funnel gets. And we'll get to that. And then don't miss an opportunity to capture a lead. Guess what? Every time somebody emails your business or calls your business, sales, parts, accessory, storage, service, that's a lead. That's somebody that has raised their hand and said, I'm a boater or I'm interested in boating. Otherwise, they would have never called or emailed. You've got to capture their name, phone number, and email address, and hopefully their mailing address as much as you can about them and get them into a system, whether it's Footsteps, 3 Clicks, Lightspeed, Wind Boats. It doesn't matter what your dealer management system is or your contact management system is. You need to get them in a system where you can do something with them and train everybody in your dealership to do that. All right. Own the local search engine for free. Online video. Online video is an easy way to own your search engine. Simple changes to your website. The power of just some basic, simple changes that, guess what? A lot of those techie people that are building your websites don't understand this stuff because it's foundational. It's not the new whiz-bang technology. It's, guess what? It takes some thinking. It takes some work. It takes some planning to do. But if you do that foundational pieces, the changes are simple and easy, but man, are they powerful. But you got to do it. Think about where your prospects are coming from, what keywords are in their head. And then where do you put those in the technology? Where do you put those in the grand scheme of your online dealership to make sure that you own the first page of Google? And with 90+% of our prospects going online before buying, and oftentimes before ever walking into your boat business, you've got to pay attention to the stuff. You cannot say, hey, we've got a website that's good enough, but we haven't touched it for 5 years, or we haven't really done a search engine optimization plan. Now, I don't sell search engine optimization. I don't want to put you on a monthly plan, but I'm telling you, I can show you exactly what you need to do. If we do a diagnosis of your website, 3 or 4 simple steps that you can do that are going to skyrocket you on Google that you can do for free. You can do for free, even if you're a tech dunce like me. I mean, my computer right now needs to go back to the repair shop because for some reason it's not running right, and I don't know how to fix it. But 90+%, and I'd venture to say it's close to 100 by now. They're on their mobile device. They're on their computer. They're searching. When they're considering buying a boat, they're searching. And if you're not out there, if they're not finding you first and finding you a lot and finding you everywhere, well, then you're missing opportunities because you may not ever get a chance, and you're missing out. Step 7, putting it all together, the 24/7 selling machine. This is my favorite. Because this is when it all starts coming together. In my boot camps, my high price boot camps, when I start, we do all this stuff individually. I showed you that triangle. We do the foundation, and we do the messaging, and we start building up, and we get to that 24/7 selling machine at the top, and it starts bringing it all together. And then the light bulb clicks on, ding, ding, ding. And they start to say, well, how many contacts can I put into this 24/7 selling machine? Because I know with everything that we built there, all of this great stuff is going to happen with pre-qualified, pre-positioned, less price-sensitive customers, and I'll see more of them. So let me ask you, how many contacts do your past clients get every year? How many, if you looked at your top 200 clients that have bought boats from you, how many times have you contacted them in the last 12 months? Reached out with a phone call, given them more of an email that was more than just a sales pitch for the newest and latest and greatest boat? How many events have you done for them? That's the opportunity. That's the opportunity. And that's where those sales are being missed. I mean, in my numbers, in my example, 5 sales. You could probably get those 5 sales right out of your database of your current clients that have already bought boats from you, already know you, already like you, already trust you, are less price sensitive. You're just not showing them that they're valuable, showing them the love. And I can show you some simple and easy ways to do that with the 24/7 selling machine. How many contacts do your prospects get in the first 12 months? Here's a stat that blew me away. Even though I kind of knew it, but when I heard it, 85% of people that buy after 90 days of their lead. So how many contacts do you make in the first 90 days? Probably most of them. How many contacts do you make after the 90th day? Well, if you're like most dealers that I mystery shop, other than maybe a HTML image, very seldom opened, doesn't open in most email servers. When I mystery shop a lot, and I get I'm on a ton of email lists. I may be on yours, who knows? But I get these HTML emails that are real pretty and they look great, and they spend a lot of money to get them produced and to send out. And on my email, my security settings are set in a way that all I get is a big red X in the white box because I can't see any of it. Guess what? That doesn't really count as a contact. But 85% of people buy after 90 days. Do you have a system in place so that you are prompted to call them, so that you don't forget about them? Prompted to invite them to events? Prompted to continue selling your message? I've had clients, multiple clients, that after 3, 4, or 5 years, they finally bought a boat from me. Why? Because I stayed in touch, because I had a 24/7 selling machine that wouldn't let them forget about me, that continued to build value over 3, 4, 5 years. You can build a lot of value over 4 years with somebody. Man, that sale was simple. If you have somebody that's been in your database for that long and they finally walk in the door and you've done the 24/7 selling machine right, that's a lay down deal at whatever price you quote. I mean, hey, it's again, you heard the video from Will. I've had it happen time and time again. And I think the key thing that Will said in that little video was, and he paid the price that we asked. He came there to buy a boat from us, and he paid the price that we asked. If you don't have that happening consistently, then you're missing out. And then continuous improvement in your dealership strategy, systems, and sales skills. Yeah, sales training, coaching. Another point of view. You know, a lot of times we kind of get lost in the day-to-day of our business. It happens to me. I pay coaches, and I go and invest in my business strictly for another point of view of, hey, Matt, there's a glaring opportunity that you're missing right in front of you. It's even stuff that I teach that I'm so focused on my day-to-day and doing the stuff that I do. Sometimes I have a hard time seeing that kind of big picture. And sometimes just another point of view can point out a huge opportunity of low-hanging fruit. Accountability. You know, as a dealership owner, I find it for myself as a business owner. Sometimes, you know, you don't have anybody saying, hey, you know, let's get out of this rut. Let's do this. You know it needs to be done. You've been talking about it for 4 years. I had one coaching client that came in, and in the second day, I was talking to the salespeople, and you know, by the second day, we're kind of loosened up a little bit, and they started telling me, we've been talking about all this stuff. We've been talking about all this stuff for years. We've just never done it. Sometimes that accountability can be key. and changes in technology. You've got to keep up with the changes in technology. Like it or not, the technology in our boats are changing, but the technology for sales and marketing are changing and the way our clients interact with us. And you've got to stay on top of it. And you can't jump on Instagram just because it's the newest thing. You have to understand that Twitter and Instagram and Pinterest and Facebook work for some boat businesses, and it's a total waste for other boat businesses. And you have to understand which one you are, so you're not wasting time, effort, and money on things that don't work. But once you have these systems built, then it's just a matter of maintaining it and kind of keeping up, looking for more opportunities. Where else can you improve? So can you see some, based on what we covered, if you're still with me, can you see some areas for improvement, whether it's better follow-up, better sales skills? I didn't go into a lot of sales skills, but sometimes one of the big opportunities is just changing a few key steps in the sales process. Better online presence. When's the last time you updated your website? Did you have a local kid do it that doesn't know anything about marketing, anything about selling? Did you hire one of the big companies that offers it in the industry and said, here, just take our old website and make it look better, freshen it up, make it look more modern? But did you take a look at the foundational pieces? Did you take a look at the messaging? Did you have some strategy behind what you did? Are you just posting on Facebook willy-nilly, whatever kind of strikes you at the time, or are paying somebody a lot of money that's managing your Facebook presence and not doing the strategy, not matching up where the opportunities are in your market, and just giving you a pre-canned presence? Can you see an opportunity for better strategy in your lead generation, in your follow-up systems, in your sales process? Can you see that you have improvement for better leads? Man, we just kind of take what comes in. We have our website out there. We put our Boat Trader ads out there, put our inventory on Boat Trader and on our website. We do some print stuff. We go to the boat show, and we just take what comes our way. Well, guess what? That's only a couple of doors that everybody else is using. Open up some more doors that are more strategic, that are a little outside the norm. Start flooding more leads in, run them through that 24/7 selling machine where you kind of qualify them and you position them, and out the bottom pops a less price-sensitive prospect right to your salesperson. It's pretty dang awesome, and it works. So I told you that that I was going to have an offer for you. And if you're still with me, you might even be saying, I want to hear about how this works. Well, I've got a program called How to Sell More Boats at Higher Prices. It goes through that pyramid that I showed you to start. We work a lot with the foundational stuff, and then we start building. And we start going up to the media. And we start doing all of the follow-up and creating all the tools. Develop strategy in your goals, messaging, social proof, building relationship with clients and prospects, newsletters, boat previews, lead generation strategies, education-based marketing, online marketing, lead generation at boat shows, local search, the basics that you need to know so that you can tell who. I don't want to sell you a website. I don't want to be your web provider. I don't even know how to do that stuff. I want to show you what you have to know, the basics, the fundamentals that you need to know so that you can tell PSN, you can tell ARI, you can tell, who's the one? Dealer Spike. You can tell your local company, whoever it is, here's what I want you to do. Go do it. Show it to me, and I'll make sure it's right. Install a 24/7 selling machine. Probably the biggest change that you can make to your boat business for next year is that 24/7 selling machine. When you've got the right strategy, when you've got the right messaging down, and you put it into a system. And then if you do that continuous improvement in your dealership, strategy, systems, and sales skills, you have a tremendous impact. So what I give you is all that. I give you a way to think through creating the messaging, and I help you with it. Give you easy, simple tools to create social proof, to build relationships, done for you templates that you take, you customize for your boat business. I even do some of the stuff for you. You just have to ask and I'll do it. Lead generation strategies that are going to open multiple doors in your boat business, give you a advantage at the boat show because nobody else is doing this stuff. Local search engine, you're going to own your marketplace. That 24/7 selling machine, weekly sales coaching. So I walk you through a sales process that anybody can use, their own personality. I'm not going to change them. I'm just going to give them a few simple steps to take, a few simple word tracks. How do you greet? How do you present price? How do you ask for the sale? How do you do a trial close? How do you ask for repeat and referral business? We go through, and it's just little snippets for you and your sales team that that they can take advantage of for 6 months. It's included. Little 10, 15, 20 minutes is about the longest I go on just a call that they can listen to. If you're watching this webinar, you can take advantage of everything that that I'm showing you, and it's done in little videos, little audio recordings. You can put them on CDs and play them in your truck. You have access to me. I show you, here's how you do it. And it's that coaching, it's that accountability, it's that outside view that, that really is where the value comes from. So let me ask you again, how much are you losing? How much did you lose last year? Was it over 50,000? If it was over 50,000, here's what I'm going to tell you, that this program is likely for you. If it was under 50,000, you know what? You're either like 40,000, you're good. If it was 10,000, hey, you're doing great. You don't need my help. If you were being honest with yourself. If you weren't being honest, that's another story. But if you're being honest with yourself and your number was 10 or 20 grand, hey, take what you learned in this webinar and put some basic changes in place. But if your number is 50, 100, 200,000, I mean, you've got to take a look at your boat business and make some changes. So here's how the program worked. I talked about my 3-day boot camp. Well, that was a $10,000 program. They traveled here to me. So most of the folks that I had one client that brought in 5 of his team members. But most of them spent, $2,500 on travel and hotel flights and stuff like that for an investment of about $12,500. I've created this program, this How to Sell More Boats, this virtual boot camp, and it's pricing at $7,900. Well, at $7,900, it's a tremendous value because we know you've done the math that there's an additional 50, whatever your number is, $50,000 or more that you can improve. That's money on the table that you're already missing, let alone the money that you don't realize you're missing in parts and service and accessory that this system addresses kind of peripherally, that will drive. But I'm just rolling this out, and I want to do a group of charter members, a group of 15 people to go through the program the very first time so I can, make sure I've got everything dialed in. I can give a little bit more personal attention to them. And more importantly, when you come out, I've got 15 people that I can get amazing testimonials from, that social proof of how well this worked, how easy it is to put in their boat business. Now, I say easy, it takes work. Don't get me wrong. This isn't a silver bullet. This is going to take some effort on your part, some time and some thinking. You actually have to do it. But I'm going to get these charter members so I can really get those testimonials. There's going to be a big discount. I'm going to put together a special advanced training event just for the 15 members. And there's, like I said, there's a big discount. You've got to apply. If you're interested, you've got to apply first. Here's the thing, is my programs are designed for honest and ethical dealers. I've got to have a quick conversation with you, maybe 10, 15 minutes at the most, a quick conversation with you, do a little bit of research online to make sure that you're a good fit for me. For me, you may have the need, but just because you have the need doesn't mean that you fit my criteria for clients. So there's that link down at the bottom, successfulboatdealer.com/apply, APPLY. If you go to that, it's just a quick, it'll take you a couple minutes, a couple questions, and then Sarah from my office will give you a call. But let's take a look at, all right, so you're 50,000 or more that you're losing. But if you invest that $8,000, here's how risk-free that investment is for you. Your opportunity is 50, but if you just get one extra sale at 40,000, you paid for the program. One extra referral, you paid for the program. One extra ordered boat, you paid for the program. If you saved a deal that you would have normally lost to your competition because you didn't have the positioning, you didn't have the tools, you didn't have the follow-up system, you didn't have the sales skills in your sales department, or you can boost your prices by $200 a deal on 40 deals, $500 a deal on 16 deals, or $1,000 a deal on just 8 deals. Paid for the program, boom. I didn't talk about this in the training, but there's some extra benefits of the way I set the 24/7 selling machine up. Is you'll drive extra revenue from your F&I, extended warranties. You can position yourself for doing more financing, insurance if you do insurance. Sell annual services. You'll get more service business because of what I teach in the boat sales training. It just sort of a side benefit is you get extra service that's, again, less price sensitive. If you do brokerage, if you sell an extra 2 to 8 brokerage boats, the listing and the brokerages. I tell you, I was a top brokerage producer as well because my system just churned out brokerage listings for me of clean, low hour boats. It was awesome. And for some people, it's cutting $8,000 on wasted marketing expense. Money that you're already spending that's delivering zero results or even worse, crappy customers. Guess what? If I can show you in my system how to cut that out, you paid for the system right there. So it's easy to pay for. And remember, the discount, the charter member, it's a limited 15 people. I want that 15 because, frankly, I'm giving a discount when I probably don't need to. It'll sell just fine at that $7,900 based on the past experience with the boot camps and everything. But it's limited. So I don't want you to apply if you don't have the money to invest right now. If investing $8,000 sends shivers up your spine that, man, how am I going to make payroll if I do that? Don't get the program. Fix the other stuff that you need to first. If it's not the right time for you, I've set this up for the off season because it's the great time to do this kind of work on your business, not in your business, selling and turning wrenches and doing the paperwork, doing the books. You got to work on your business. And if it's not the right time for you, you've got another project, you're building a new facility, you are changing your dealer management system, who knows what it is, you're short staffed, you lost a key person. If it's not the right time for you, then don't apply. This is something that I'm going to offer. I see myself offering it for the next several years. And, you won't be a charter member. You won't get the big discount, which I'll tell you about, but it's going to be around. And even at $8,000, it's a tremendous value. I mean, when you look at $50,000 to $100,000 or more in lost money that you're losing, that it's going to be something that you can do when the timing is right. So don't worry about getting in now. You'll just be losing that discount. You want to kick the tires. You want to grill me with a bunch of questions, and you really have no intention of investing in this training. I've told you how much it is for the regular price once we get this charter member training done. Well, if that's you, I just, frankly, in my business, just like when I was a salesperson, I didn't like to deal with customers that weren't positioned right and, that were coming to the boat show and they had no intention of buying a boat. They just wanted to harass a salesperson. Well, I don't want to deal with those kind of people in this life either. I want to deal with people that are serious about the success of their business. So if that's you, if you're just kicking tires, then don't worry about applying. It's, I'd rather you didn't. And I'll just leave it at that. If you already know everything about sales and marketing in the boat business and you won't implement anything, no matter how profitable it is or how common sense it is, here's the deal, is these charter members, the 15 charter members, I need you to be implementers. I need you to be doers. I need you to be serious about success. And I need you to be open to some new ideas, some things that maybe contradict what you learned from your dad or your granddad. Maybe something that contradicts what the industry norm is. I need you to be open to the ideas and ask the question, how do I implement this in my boat business based on the strategy of our business? Not this won't work, but how will this work? If you can give me that type of attitude, then we can work great together and we can get great success. But like I said, this is a limited time charter member group, and I'm only looking to work with the folks that are really excited about this and frankly are ass kickers. I really want you to be butt kickers. I want you to be get it done doers, because the last thing I want to do is try to talk you into this. That's especially for this charter member group. I want people that are getter-doners, that are going to get out there and say, this stuff's awesome. What I learned in the training with Matt was great, but I want to get the nitty-gritty of this stuff. I want to get the done-for-you templates. I want to get the easy-to-install program. That's the people that I'm looking for. So I don't want to talk you into it if that's not you. And if investing in some guy you don't know is difficult, we've probably never met. Maybe you've read my articles, maybe you've heard me speak, but you probably don't know me that great. Go ahead and apply and just check me out before we talk. Go to Google. I mean, I've got about 10,000 listings on Google. And you're not going to find, hey, this guy's a scammer. This guy's up to no good. He's going to take your money and run. Go check me out. If you don't have confidence in me, just apply. Click that button, and I think the button is gonna should have popped that up on your screen. But if you just click the button on the side or down below, I don't know where it's going to be for sure. But if you click that, you can get right to the application page, and I'll do that right now as we speak. Or you can just go to successfulboatdealer.com/apply. If you're waiting for a lower price, I hate to tell you, but this discounted price I'm going to reveal here shortly is for the first 15 that register. Then it goes up to that $7,900. That's just, I'm doing this so I can get some people in real quick. I can improve the program, get it real dialed in, get some great testimonials, some great social proof, some great referral sources to people in their 20 groups and in their sphere of influence and dealer networks. And so if you're waiting for a lower price, probably not going to happen. Now, I will tell you, just to be totally transparent, I will tell you that if I get a bunch of people in this first round, if I get more than 15, I may bump that up a little bit for this first go round. But otherwise, this is it, and it will be $7,900, which again is a great value at $7,900. A pretty easy decision to make if you're talking about adding $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 to your bottom line. And if simply making a decision to apply, if it's a difficult one for you, then this is probably a bad fit for you. Because as we go through the program, I'm going to ask you to make more decisions on what your messaging should be, decisions on how should you adjust your website this way or that way, decisions on what's the right way to build the relationship with your clientele based on your strategy. And if you can't make this simple decision of, hey, invest under $8,000 to get a return of over 50, whatever your number is, well, then you're not going to be able to make those other decisions, and you're not going to implement, and it's not going to be a win for you or for me. So if that's the case, then don't worry about applying. That's fine. It's not gonna impact me if you don't. So just if that's you, then don't worry about it. If you are still on the webinar, then there's something about what I've shared with you that you're like, man, we've got to start doing that better. We're missing out. We don't have a 24/7 selling machine. We don't have a sales process. We don't have good leads coming in. Everybody is price sensitive. We don't know how to handle the price conversation. We don't have social proof. I've never even thought about it. I don't know how to capture it. There's something about what we've talked about in the last hour has kind of, and it looks like I'm running over a little bit, but it's stuck with you. So let me tell you how this is delivered. It's a complete blueprint to adding an extra $50,000 or more to your bottom line this off season. So it's work that's all going to get done in the off season, and it's 5 weeks of interactive training. So for 5 weeks, every week we get on and we start going up that triangle. We start laying the foundation, and then we move up, and then we move up, and then we move up, and then we move up. And the program, it's going to begin in 2 weeks. So if you're serious about doing this, go ahead and apply. Click on that apply button that's on the right, or go to, if it's not popping up, go ahead and go to successfulboatdealer.com/apply. It's down in the bottom right corner, the website. But it begins in 2 weeks, Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm Eastern time. So Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern time, we do the first phone call. There's some video modules that are going to walk you through the step-by-step of what you need to know and give you the detail. And like I said, for the charter members are the first 15 going through this program. It's based off my $10,000 boot camp program. And I pulled some things from my $8,000 fast track program, but I want to get some great testimonials for this particular program. And so the first 15, you're going to save $3,000. It's going to be $4,900. It's going to be less than $5,000 for something that can really revolutionize your boat business. And the great thing about when you start doing systems, when you start doing a 24/7 selling machine, is what you install today is there 10 years from now. And guess what? In 10 years from now, if you continue improving and tweaking and adjusting and adding in the newest, latest, and greatest technology in that foundation, you've got something that is going to make you millions of dollars. It's going to help you sell millions of dollars of boats and services and parts and accessories. And for an investment of less than $5,000. Again, for the first 15, if it's after 15, then the price is going to go back up to that $7,900. And you're going to get invited to that private advanced training session. So that's just a little something special that I wanted to do for this charter member group. Give you some something special that other people won't be getting. So again, go to that successfulboatdealer.com/apply, and you can get it there. And here's the thing: if you're still here, if you're still with me, again, I can tell you're serious about this success. Otherwise, you wouldn't have invested the hour plus that we've been on the line together. If you're wanting to join, if you're wanting to get involved, just go ahead and click on that button and or go to the website, fill out the quick form, and like I said, Sarah from my office will give you a call. If it's not right for you, it's not right for you. But again, if you're still here, if you're still on the call and you're just trying to figure out, man, I don't know, go ahead and do the application. We'll get on that quick call. And for most people that apply, the call is going to be 5 minutes, maybe 10 or 15 at the most. You got a couple of questions of, hey, how does it work? And I'm not available Monday at 2. I'm closed on Monday or whatever. We can figure out how we're going to work that around for you. And, feel free to apply and we'll have those conversations. But if you want to get on the phone and you want me to sell you to join, well, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to I don't want to have to sell you to get involved, because what that tells me is that you're not committed. You don't believe in what I just shared with you. You don't believe that your dealership has the issue. And like I said, if you already know it all, about sales and marketing in the boat business, and some people do, then it's not right for you. But if it is, I would love to have you join. Would love to get you involved. Do that private advanced training. I'm really excited about that. I think that's going to be awesome. And I know that like I said, at $8,000 it's a great value. At $5,000 it's pretty much a no brainer if you're serious, and if your number was over $50,000. So there you go. I look forward to talking to you on our quick call, get you going. Remember, in 2 weeks on Monday at 2 p.m. is the first session. So don't delay, and let's get going. Let's get this done for this off season, so that next year, man, you're knocking it out. And I really appreciate it. Thanks for sticking with me for the whole webinar, and I will talk to you very, very soon. This is Matt Selhorst. Have a great one.